Hi guys and girls. Today we are going to do entitled Parents. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see my next videos. Let's get right into it. The race card. You know how they say that the culprit always returns to the scene of the crime? Well, it was me. In every room. With my bare hands. But enough about what I do during my executive time. You didn't come here to read me rambling on about inconsequential nonsense, you came for a cohesive short-form narrative, because you're smart. This story takes place back in the olden days of yore, during my time as a glorified connie. It was the first proper job I ever had, at the tender age of 14. Those of you familiar with my tale of the purple fish will remember me having spoken of this job before. For the benefit of those who didn't read that one, and for the purposes of padding out this story, my first job was as a game attendant at a nearby amusement park. Basically, you give me money, I let you play the game. If you win, you could take home an unlicensed oversized Stewie doll, or perhaps a nickelback mirror, if you're one of those people. As an attendant, the management would keep you on a constant rotation around the park, so I worked pretty much every game there in the 2 summers I was employed there. Now, I've already bitched about this before, so I won't go into excruciating detail, but people be dumb, and had a tendency to not fully understand some of these games, despite the signage telling you the cost and the rules of each. I dealt with this on a daily basis, and it is what taught me that hell is other people. Today's story began on a day much like any other. It was a humid, sticky day, the kind where you can literally feel waves of stink wafting off of your own skin. It felt as though I had dipped my nuts in expired vinegar. Ladies. On this particular day, I had been assigned to the water gun race. You know the one, it's a classic carnival contest. You pay your entry fee, $2, get on a water turret, and compete with other players to win by shooting at a target in an attempt to move these goofy plastic horses across a track. To the victor go the spoils, but to those who don't win, well, to quote the philosopher Wonka, you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Seems simple enough, right? I thought so too, but as I said before, people be dumb, which brings me to the family this story is about. I was standing there, waiting for some guests to come along and play the game, when this waspy nuclear family comes up to the game. The father looks like he aspires to model for tennis product ads, wearing a cream-colored polo, even though it's clearly his day off, his collar popped like some kind of country club vampire. The mother, wearing those giant designer sunglasses that are so popular with the Karens of the world, takes a deep drag from her Virginia Slim, despite the park's no-smoking policy. She flicks the ash, which catches in the wind and blows right back into the drooling face of the sleeping toddler in their stroller. He doesn't react at all. Lastly, there is a little girl, maybe 6 or 7 years old and looking like she's going to church. She sees the prizes at the game I'm working, which are stuffed ponies, and her eyes light up. I wanna play this one. I want a pony. The parents, though giving me an unpleasant vibe usually reserved for when I see commercials for the Gap, asked me fairly politely to clarify the rules, which I explained thusly. You pay $2 per player. There has to be a minimum of 2 players. Winner gets a prize. Losers don't. Capies. The parents agree to these terms and slap down a pair of Washingtons on the counter. I look over and see there's no other players. I'm sorry, I can't start the game with any less than 2 players, I reiterated. That's okay. We'll wait for someone else to come play, replied the dad. I shrugged. Suit yourself. A few minutes later, several other kids with some youth group came up to play the game as well. I took their money, dispensed change, and explained the rules yet again, but now we had enough players for a race, so I started the game up. This little girl, as it turns out, was no Annie Oakley. As a matter of fact, she probably hit me more than she hit the target, and I was in what was supposed to be the safe zone. The parents didn't even try to help her. Consequently, she did not win the race, and the pony went to another child. The little girl pouted and whined, to which her mother cooed, "It's okay honey, you can try again." Dad put down another $2, as did several of the other players, so I reset the game and take two began. Sure enough, the little girl loses again, by a significant margin. This happens multiple times, each round ending with some other kid winning the coveted made in Thailand pony I'm reasonably certain was stuffed with asbestos. Eventually, the youth group, having all won their prizes, took off. I looked at the family, who were all now glaring at me. Mom was pissed. What gives? How come my daughter didn't win a prize? Oi. I told you, I explain again, you have to win a race to win a prize. Those kids all beat her. Dad, also not enthused with the situation, piped up. Are you kidding me? We just spent $20 here. She's just a little kid. How the hell is she supposed to compete with other kids, especially older ones? Leave your body, TG. Look, I sigh. I don't know what to tell you. It's a racing game. You have to win to get the prize. That's how it works. You could help her aim during the race, and maybe you'll win. Otherwise one of you could play with her in a one-on-one race. Then you're guaranteed a prize. The mom scoffed. You want us to pay for 2 plays to win 1 prize? That's a rip-off. It's the rules. There has to be at least 2 players, I reminded them. I'm just saying, you could have done that from the beginning and saved a few bucks. No, Dad interrupted. We're not going to pay for 2 players to win 1 prize. The girl began whining again. Daddy, I warn't won. The dad shoots me a dirty look and throws another pair of ones on the counter. I look at the money, then back up at him. So you just want to pay for 1 player again? Dad grumbled, irritated and disinterested in what I had to say anymore. Lo and behold, another family came to play the game, and the daughter lost for the 11th time in a row. This was the final straw for these folks. All right, that's it. This game is rigged, the dad snapped, grabbing his daughter's arm and leading her away. The mom shook her head disapprovingly, as though I had somehow grifted them out of $22 on purpose, before also turning around to walk away. You bitch, the little girl called back out to me as her parents led her away. What? A few minutes later, my supervisor came to me and asked me what I'd said to them. What do you mean? I asked, still thrown off by the whole thing. Well, they said you were rigging the game against them because they were white. I stared back at my supervisor for what felt like 3 or 4 minutes. What? Yeah. I didn't think so, my supervisor said, satisfied with my confusion over the accusation. Carry on, TG. Oh. Okay, I will, I replied, still reeling from the events which had just transpired. Just then, another extremely Vermont Tourism Board Y family came walking up to the game, their child squealing with rapturous glee over the stuffed horses. Ooh. I wanna play this one. I want a pony.